Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Hey guys, welcome to Reza Riffs. Tonight's episode we have a sponsor, but first Alan Lee has a huge news feed he wants to share with us.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this just came in. It's hot off the presses. An agrarian revolutionary secessionist group, the Hawaiian Gardeners of Hawaiian Gardens, have kidnapped international man of comedy, Greg Roke. His tracking beacon was deactivated somewhere between a trailer park and Tacos Jalisco number 6. The group has posted a Craigslist ad reading, "Ransomed Wheelboy, $40 or best offer." A GoFundMe has been set up for Greg's release. Greg, wherever you are, we hope you're safe and want you to return home.
Excellent. Well, back to the show. Hey Alan, how you doing, pal?
Oh, I'm doing good. This is, I'm a little pressure here with this news event.
Yeah.
And I hope the word gets out there. Poor Greg, we wish you the best wherever you are. And of course, I'm very excited, not just with this news event. Bill Farmer is here.
Yeah, he's in the studio. I was about to introduce him, but then you started talking about Greg.
Well, you know me. I ramble. I'm a born-again cartoon person. We're all exposed to.
This is Ronan, the director.
I don't know. Why is my mic always? Here I'm with a radio great.
I want to repeat that first part.
Oh, really? Which first part? Oh my God, I'm falling apart already. Here's a professional radio man. Bill Farmer, we're screwing up all over the place.
Repeat,
help.
repeat your news feed real fast.
Oh,
because that's what he was saying.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, repeat real fast.
We have a hot news flash that just came in, ladies and gentlemen. Agrarian revolutionary and secessionist group, the Hawaiian Gardeners of Hawaiian Gardens, have kidnapped international man of comedy, Greg Roke. His tracking beacon was deactivated somewhere between a trailer park and Tacos Jalisco number 6. The group has posted a Craigslist ad reading, "Ransomed Wheelboy, $40 or best offer." A GoFundMe has been set up for Greg's release. Greg, wherever you are, we hope you're safe and want you to return home ASAP.
All right, excellent. Well, back to the show. Tonight we have a huge guest. He's the voice of Goofy in the Disney movies and everything for the past 30 years. He's been in Space Jam, and he has a new movie out, Despicable Me 3. The great Bill Farmer. How you doing, Bill?
Oh, it's great to be here. It's a lot of fun, and I'm very worried about the Tacos Jalisco, or what do we have here?
Yeah.
We got to keep up on that story.
Yeah, well, I think we'll get like a tweet of when we got to do the next segment, because before we start the Twitter questions, we'll have Alan give an update.
We're going to be following this very closely. Now that I have Bill
up to date on
Bill
that.
helping me out here, we got this nailed.
Usually I read these updates, but I have something in my mouth. You know what I mean? Like I could talk. And there's all these big words. I was like, I don't want to read it.
It's called tongue-tied.
That's the best part about having a sidekick. You did radio, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I didn't have a sidekick, though. I had to do it all myself. So.
No, this is a pro.
Bill, before we start, I just wanted to know a little something about Alan Lee. We went to the grocery store today to get water and stuff, and the cashier was like to Alan, "Hey, Alan, how you doing?" And Alan's like, "Oh, great. I'm going to be talking to Bill Farmer all day today." It's like, way to name drop, you know what I mean?
And they're probably saying, "Bill who's that?"
No, she didn't say that. But
I love to drop names. Yeah, it's a habit I picked up out here. I told my mom that tonight, Bill's going to hear Bill Farmer. Got him says Greg Roke. Got him confused here.
See how he just drops names?
I'm even dropping names off of the news flash. But Bill Farmer, I told my mom he's going to be here tonight, and I told her Goofy, and she was quite impressed.
Yeah, everyone knows Goofy. No one knows me, so It doesn't really work that well at a restaurant when you're going, "Gorge, can I have a table?" Sometimes it works, but usually not.
Now, do you teach other voice actors how to do?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've done that for I've created demos for about the last 20 years because my degree was in broadcast journalism, and I kicked around in radio for a number of years. And I had, of course, in a little podunk stations that I worked at, you did everything. You sold time, you wrote copy, you did a shift on the air, you read news, you got to do everything. And so someone had asked me, who did your demo? Oh, I did that. Would you do one for me? And this is the old reel-to-reel demo.
Right.
So I had to, I did that, and then I did another one, and after a couple of hundred of those, I decided to let my son in on it. He's an audio engineer and a drummer, and so he's much better at editing than I am. So we together have a little company, and we do demos for, people who want to get into this business, and lessons that people that think they might want to come out to Hollywood and see what it's all about.
That's actually really cool because when I think of voice acting, I'm only 30 years old. You know what I mean? So I'm still a young.
You're a young whippersnapper.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when I think of voice acting, I only could think of, and I know there's more, but the two that really pop out is Bill Farmer and Frank Walker.
Oh, yeah. Well, Frank, I got to, my first series was one called Goof Troop, and Frank was in that.
Yeah.
He's amazing. Anytime you ever hear a dog or an animal in a movie, he was sitting next to me just all day long and, getting paid millions to do it.
Yeah, but it's cool that, the great Bill Farmer teaches other people how to, do the voices.
Well,
that's got to be an honor if you're a voice actor.
Well, I don't know how much of an honor it is, but it's there's a lot of people that want to get into this business, and there's a lot of misconceptions that they have, and so if I can save them some time and money if they're living in Nebraska and I want to do me some cartoons, I'm going to call Bill and learn out how to do that. And so they call, and I say, don't sell the farm just yet. There's some things you need to know before you come out here. So you need a microphone? That seems to be an important thing. You need one of those.
So take me in a day of a recording a voice, because I don't know much about it. I just watch the cartoons and I love
a lot of
them.
people, the misconceptions are when we do a cartoon. For example, today I did a cartoon for a show that's on Disney. I think Disney Junior, Mickey and the Roadster Racers, which is with Mickey, Donald, Goofy, all the gang, and everything. And believe it or not, Jay Leno is one of the regulars.
Oh, really?
He plays a character, Billy Beagle, so it's all dogs and stuff. And he loves doing it. And so when I go in, people think that I'm watching a cartoon and adding voices to it. That's incorrect. All we have is a script right in front of us, and then I'll have Mickey's lines and Goofy's lines and Donald's lines. And a misconception is that we're all in the studio together and recording this like a radio play. That is not true. We generally go in one at a time. I'll do my lines, so I have to figure if I'm talking to Mickey, gosh, Mickey, how's it going?
Wow. You don't get that.
No, I don't get these.
Reaction.
The reaction from the actor. It has to take place all up in your head, and you have to rely on the director. Like, how far away is Mickey? I mean, if he's 50 feet away, you got to go, "Howdy, Mickey, what's going on?" Or if he's right next to you, it's, "Howdy, Mickey, what's going on?"
Yeah.
Totally depends on the situation, on how you play it. And so we just do each line over and over and over until the director says, "Okay, that's good. I like that third one," and we'll move on to the next one. And then in that way we go through the entire script.
Wow.
And then it goes off to animation, which usually takes maybe a year until it comes on TV. And then I'll see, and then, oh, that's what I did. By that time I've forgotten the whole thing. And
oh, yeah.
Is that me? I don't know.
Well, you've been doing Goofy for 30 years.
30 years, yeah, January of 87, which I really lucked out. It was my first animated character audition after moving to Hollywood.
It was your first one.
Yeah. I was able to get an agent after coming out here. I was doing stand-up comedy for about 5 years out of Dallas.
That's amazing.
And, did a lot of impressions and voices in the act. And I came out, and my agent said, "Do you do any of the Disney characters?" They wanted to settle on one voice for each of the characters. At that time, it was like 4 or 5 Mickeys and Goofies and Donalds, and it was like Goofy du jour. You want to do it, Bob? Okay. And then, with the advent of the Disney Channel, Michael Eisner, Roy Disney decided we want to hear one voice for each of the main characters.
Yeah.
So you always heard the same voice. And they had a big audition, and my agent said, "Do you do any of the characters?" And I said, "Well, I can kind of do Mickey, because, if you can do that falsetto, gosh, oh boy, you're kind of in the ballpark of doing Mickey." And, well, Goofy was my favorite growing up, and that seemed to fit right in the wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, they asked me, could I bark? Whoa! There you go. So you're Pluto. And so I've been doing those 2 characters for the longest, 30 years.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And then you're also really known for, and like Alan Lee asked me to ask you this because he's a little embarrassed to, because he doesn't know what it is. But you're also really known for additional voices.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
you get
Questions
incidental voices is what it's
That's
called.
what it's
Yeah.
called.
Like
Incidental.
Alan Lee said, I looked up his IMDb. He's in all these movies as the same character, additional voice.
Additional voices,
There you
yeah.
go.
I'm like
There
the
you go.
talking
It's-
tree or hot dog vendor number 1. You want a hot dog? So that's it. But in any given episode, they might have some little guys that appear, one-offs, we call them, just one line that is some guy, maybe an announcement, I like, for example, in the movie Shrek 2, I did an announcer, and I didn't even know that I'd forgotten I did it until I took my son to the movie, and toward the end of the movie, there was a ball at the castle, and I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Princess Fiona and Prince Shrek." And my son's like, "Hey, Dad, that's you." And I go, "Yeah, I guess it was. I totally forgot." And, these little incidental voices you always like. We're always a lot of crowd scenes, like in Beauty and the Beast, when they're attacking the castle. Kill the beast, that kind of thing. So we had a lot of people doing that, and I'm one of those. And most recently, the upcoming, where I guess it's out now, Despicable Me 3. I did a dog reporter. It's always dogs. In the movies Sing and Secret Life of Pets and the Lorax and the Minions and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, those are all awesome. I saw Despicable Me 3 on my birthday.
Really? When was that?
July 4th.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Yeah.
July 4th is
Yeah.
your birthday?
Oh, yeah.
I
Wow.
remember now.
Yeah, and because me and my family, we do stuff for the family on birthdays, which is weird.
How strange! How strange is that?
It's like I've never heard of that until I was 4, and I was like, all right.
Use firecrackers instead of birthday candy.
Yeah. So we saw Despicable Me 3, and I thought I saw the first one. I loved the first one, and then I hated the second one. And I was like, the third one is actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's weird how movies are they do that jump. You know what I mean?
You never know, too. When you're watching it, they'll put up one reel, and it's not necessarily linear. So we might start halfway in the movie when they have a crowd scene. So I have no idea what the movie's about usually. When we did the movie Sing, I didn't even know it was about singing. They didn't even call it Sing to keep it secret and stuff. I think they called it something like Lunch Project or something weird,
I can't
Bob's Video or whatever. And we went in there, and I just did my lines, didn't see any of the other scenes. And so I didn't even know it was called Sing until it was in the theater.
Yeah.
And someone said, "Oh, I saw your name in the credits on Sing." And I said, "Well, what's Sing?" I didn't even know until I went, "Oh, I remember that dog. That's me." Okay.
My.
Well, you've done so much work, you probably forget all the work you've done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I forget where my wallet is.
Yeah.
That's not surprising.
I had a technical question.
Yeah.
I heard Bill mentioning how you don't have the exact plot of some of these. Well, do you work with a Foley machine where you have to suddenly adapt to the sound effects with the Foley guy? Or
No,
you're
no,
left
that's
out of
all
that.
put
That's
in
all
after
put in-
we are.
Okay,
We are
okay.
kind of the first
There you
thing
go.
out of the gate.
There you
They
go.
just get the script,
Okay.
they lay it down, so
Sure.
you have the soundtrack,
Okay.
and then they will do music, sound effects, and all of the other things as they put it in the movie. And then they will, but they generally get the soundtrack pretty done and then send it to the animators.
Okay.
So they can take cues from how we said a word. For example, if I say Goofy, "Where's Helly, Mick?" If I just decided to throw that laugh in there.
Sure.
And he laughs, so they'll animate that. So they got to follow the soundtrack.
Ah, beautiful. Thank you.
You like his red glasses?
I like those. They're very bright red, and
I just felt crazy.
You got them at the grocery store.
Got my bow tie.
Hey, if they work,
whatever.
No, but another question I had is like when you go to Disneyland, do you obviously get in for free, right?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're like
so.
the voice of one of the main
God, I
three
would hope
people
so.
there.
Imagine.
Well, yeah. Luckily, that is one of the perks. I do, and so I have relatives coming
fantastic.
from out of the woodwork. And, can you get me into Disneyland? 4 times this week. I gotta go.
But like, so my question is, when you're at Disneyland and you see all these people like wearing Goofy stuff or
Yeah.
Pluto stuff, do people recognize you and ask you to sign their hats or something?
No, I rarely ever get recognized.
See, that's gotta be
And
cool.
Now with internet, and I've done enough interviews, people that are in the know do occasionally look at me and occasionally will ask me for an autograph, but it doesn't happen too often.
Yeah.
It would be it's really a weird feeling too.
Yeah.
And when I go to like a Comic-Con and stuff, and then people know who I am.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sure.
Then I get inundated with all that kind of stuff, and it's fun for about 20 minutes. It'd be fun. I'd hate to be famous like Tom Cruise or something. He can't go to the store and it's Tom Cruise. They don't do that with me.
Because I could see Bill just trying to get to the restroom and then hear some guy behind him doing a Goofy voice. Hey, Bill, doing the Goofy.
Yeah,
that was
in the
goofy?
bathroom would be really
Would
weird.
really
You're doing
strange.
voices.
I think you should take Bill's.
I'm out of paper. Like this.
That
might
would
be
strange.
might be kind of weird.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go there. I'm just saying if somebody was following you, and that would be a little strange. But
Well, that's how I started doing this.
Sure.
In high school, I found out I could do voices of actors and things, and we would drive through places like McDonald's and stuff, and they'd say, "Order in a weird voice." Sure. I'd like a Whopper with cheese, and Arnold the pig would like a Coca-Cola, and they'd look, my friends, that's so cool, dude.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. A wasted youth is what this was.
See, I've always wanted to do voice acting, like ever since I was little, and then like when I was growing up, I was like, I can't do impressions, like I can't do it, even though I try. But that's one skill I wish I had.
It's you don't have to do impressions. It's more about the acting, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
really?
It's not voice acting. It's voice acting. Rob Paulson, who has is one of the top animation characters of all time, really will tell you he doesn't do impressions. He does characters, and they're his impressions of. They're kind of impressions of impressions. When I first came out here, I took classes from a guy, Dawes Butler, who was one of the great voiceover actors. He did Captain Crunch, and he did Yogi Bear, Huckleberry Hound, Snagglepuss, all of these. And he just said, all I am is a bad impressionist. Yogi Bear was a guy he knew in Chicago, and he kind of adapted, "Hey, boo-boo, it's a picnic basket." He had that kind of cadence. And Huckleberry Hound, who had kind of a North Carolina accent, was a cousin of his that had in Carolina. He was just doing his relatives and making a career out of it.
See, that's another thing, like Yogi Bear, for example. I saw the movie Yogi Bear, which stars Dan Aykroyd. Right. And Dan Aykroyd is like one of my personal heroes because he has Asperger's syndrome, and I have Asperger's syndrome. So like when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, Dan Aykroyd's Yogi Bear? I never knew that. Yeah. And then I find out he just did it for the movie. He just did it
for that movie. And, those kind of characters, it's difficult for a celebrity to do the voice of a well-established character because people know what they sound like, and they'll go, oh, that's not Yogi, or that's, that. But if they create the voice, it seems to work, like Tom Hanks, Woody, and Buzz Lightyear, Tim Allen. They created those voices, so it's organic. It seems to work.
Yeah.
When a celebrity tries to do a voice match, you think of the celebrity, and it can take away from the character. The character's got to get the top billing.
Yeah. Another question I had, and I'm sure you get asked this question a lot, but I'm very confused about Pluto.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing.
Whoa! Yeah, go.
Like, first of all, I'm confused that Goofy's a dog and Pluto's a dog, and and I know I've heard you answer, so I know the answer. But whose dog is Pluto? Is it Goofy,
One of
Donald
the,
Ducks, Mickey Mouse? Like
He
it's
actually was originally Mickey's dog.
yeah.
Yeah. And for what kind of dog he is, originally in the very first, he was one of 2 dogs that Mickey had that were bloodhounds.
Whoa.
So, but he doesn't look like a, he's just Pluto.
Yeah, he looks like a sweet
And why
orange
does he
bloodhound.
talk or why does Goofy talk and Pluto doesn't? Goofy has a better agent, I guess. So
There's so many mysteries in the world of
Yep.
Disney.
And in the great scheme of thing, I don't think that's something you got to worry about a whole lot. And North
No.
Korea, and does Pluto? Why doesn't Pluto talk?
Those are
The 2 big questions
big
out
questions
there.
of life, and
Yeah.
or even is Scooby Doo's related to Pluto?
That's right. He kind of halfway talks that.
Who knows?
Kind of thing.
I got. You've done this many times. I'm a big, a fan of B westerns.
Yeah.
B westerns. I love B westerns, and you do, Pat Buttram.
Pat Buttram,
That's why he wore the cowboy stuff.
Autry's sidekick, and I got
That's
to
right.
meet him. I got to meet him.
You got to meet him?
Really?
His last movie was a Goofy movie, which I did
Oh,
in '95.
oh, my.
And he did, if you see the movie, there's a part, Lester's Possum Park. And he's the guy that runs the place, and all he does, he kind of points to say, "Here it is." And that's about all he said. But he was like 83, and he sat around, and he was telling us jokes.
Wow.
All day long, and he was just like working out material and everything. So I was a big thrill to meet him because I've been doing that voice for years, and I love those
those
B westerns.
Those and the sidekicks were always such a character.
Yeah,
And when you did Pat Buttram, I fell out of my seat.
Oh, all of those guys is what I kind of started doing, all the westerns, because they were
Oh,
big on
really?
TV. And, well, you had John Wayne putting your, I used to go up to my mom, we'd have dinner, and, put the green beans in a circle, and the mashed potatoes are attacking, and we're good, and my parents would, look at me, and something's wrong with that kid.
I really loved a Goofy movie. That's probably one of my top 5 favorite Disney movies because it's about a father and son relationship.
That's right.
Yeah,
And I have a lot of daddy issues because I've had so many dads. So I think that movie really touched me.
A lot of people tell me that.
Yeah.
And,
High Dad Soup. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, we did a kind of a 20th anniversary at the D23 convention a couple of years ago.
Uh-huh.
And I'm really proud to announce that when we did this panel, and we got the guy that did Powerline, Tevin Campbell, to sing a song, Eye to Eye from the movie, live on stage. Jason Marsden, who played Goofy's son Max, did not sing in the movie. They didn't know he could sing, and it was the first day we did the singing. And it was a guy named Aaron Lohr, who's actually Jason's friend. And I always felt bad because Jason can sing fine, and he didn't get to sing in the movie. So we rectified that at this panel, and so I sang The Open Road with Jason live in front, and it was like the Beatles. I mean, we got a 3-minute standing ovation at the end. People were we got number 1 in customer satisfaction, that they liked that panel the most. And in some Disney blog before, they said, the top 10 panels to go see when you're at D23. We weren't even listed, but we even beat out the Star Wars panel.
Oh, yeah.
They had George Lucas and Harrison Ford on the panel, and we beat them out. I mean, the fans for a Goofy movie have just surprised me and delighted me over the years because they just really love that movie.
Wow.
Now, speaking of the Open Road, do you still memorize that song?
Let's see. Do you need a break from modern living? Do you long to shed your weary load?
Oh, my
It's
God.
about all I can remember.
Oh, my God.
We wanted to see if you could sing a part for us. But
Sure, what do you got?
unfortunately, we have
It's just what you sang.
We have a
my
script.
God.
It's just what you sang anyway.
We got,
Oh my gosh!
We just,
Yeah.
just the first part.
Just only this part.
And Alan Lee and I will be Max.
Okay, well, yeah. Okay.
This is
Okay.
Flying
Okay,
without
we'll
a,
sing the whole song. This helps a lot to have the words in front of you. But I did remember the first couple of lines. But here we go. Do you need a break from modern living? Do you long to shed your weary load? If your nerves are raw and your brain is fried, just grab a friend and take a ride together upon the open road. Come on, Maxie!
All in all, I'd rather have detention. All in all, I'd rather eat a toad. And the old man drives like such a klutz that I'm about to hurl my guts directly upon the road.
There's nothing can upset me, 'cause now we're on our way. Our trusty map will guide us straight and true.
Roxanne, please don't forget me. I will return someday, though I may be in traction when I do.
Me and Max relaxing like the old days. This is worse than dragon breath and acne. Oh my! Yeah, is that on my? Yeah, that we.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
That's
That was
why we
awesome.
didn't make it in the movie.
Thank
We
you.
did.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, what a treat.
That was awesome. Now we got to find out. Alan Lee got a text message about the news.
Oh, my God.
The news flash.
You're right.
The news flash.
So we got to find
Yes,
out
we
what's
got
going
the
on
news.
with Greg Rogue.
Well, here's the update, ladies and gentlemen, and as you know, Bill Farmer's here to witness all this.
Yes.
And I don't want to get anyone nervous, but this is it's getting hot, getting really hot here. The update, ladies and gentlemen, on the Rogue hostage crisis is this: in a White House press statement, President Trump has declined to pay the ransom, stating the United States does not negotiate with Hawaiians. President Jimmy Carter was sent in to try and negotiate Greg Rogue's release and failed, but did achieve a lasting peace between North and South Dakota, dissolving the 53rd state of Central Dakota. West and East Dakota have still not reached an armistice, thus not putting an end to their ongoing ethnic conflict. The Del Monte Fruit Company is currently organizing a rescue mission from America's favorite lazy boy, Greg Rogue. You're in our hearts, Greg.
James Bond is on his way.
Yes, he is.
All right, back to the show.
Here we go.
Now back to the show.
So man, so I was like talking to Alan. I was like, I bet you I could get Bill to sing the song.
I
Alan's
was
like,
saying,
no,
please
you-
don't,
sure. Yeah,
please
I
don't
remember
do that.
But
My
did
God.
people
What a
ask
trooper.
you to do that? Because you sang that song in that movie.
You know, it's been a long time. I did, like I say, a couple of years ago, I sang that at the reunion at D23, but I haven't really sang it since. So I'm glad I remembered what I did or how it
It
goes.
was great.
And now you're also in another favorite movie of mine called Space Jam.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Space
Yeah.
Jam. Yes, all those characters. Wow.
Oh yeah, that I love doing the Warner. I got to meet Mel Blanc shortly before he passed away when I first moved out here, and of course he, for every voice actor, is probably there. You know, it's a deity in the voice actor realm. And yeah, I've done a lot. Actually, done more Warner's characters, not as often, but more than
interesting.
I have Disney characters. Really, because I've done Foghorn and
Foghorn,
Sylvester and
Foghorn.
Yosemite Sam, and
Name dropping.
Bugs.
I'm
Bugs.
dropping him.
Oh, and
Even
in
in
Robot
cartoons.
Chicken, I got to do Bugs and
There you
Daffy
go.
doing a rap with Elmer Fudd.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, Elmer
Yeah.
Fudd.
Oh, brother, ain't I a stink? You're despicable.
You know,
But no, on the thing I loved most about Space Jam
Yeah.
was, and like maybe I don't get this because like maybe you've seen the movie,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Because you were in it. But you remember in the basketball game where like the Looney Tunes were losing,
yeah,
you know, and then like all of a sudden Bill Murray comes out of nowhere and they start winning.
that's right. It's
Like, that's just
you know,
weird. How did Bill Murray get down there?
That's a good question. You know, that is a good question. I'd never thought about that.
Like he was.
Dun, da, da, da.
Yeah.
He's right there.
It was just weird. Like he's in the movie golfing, and then like you know, then Jordan goes, and you're like, all right, they sucked him in, and then Wayne Knight gets there. You're like, how does that happen?
Yeah, just
And
movie
then-
magic. You
yeah,
know,
they'll-
it's like they cut out a scene or something like
Yeah,
that.
and then Bill Murray, which is now
It's like
Very, very random, but a lot of fun.
You ever
it
watch-
was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was interesting doing that. Ivan Reitman, who produced the movie,
Yeah.
did the animation direction. And so he was directing us, and I don't think he'd ever done that before, but he had a blast doing it, and it's always a fun chance to get to do those kind of characters. They're tough ones. I rarely ever do Sylvester around someone because I spit on him. You know,
Right.
it's like listen, you know. And it's like, oh, sorry, here's a towel. You know. They're monsters, you know, stuff like that.
I totally understand because like sometimes when I do stand up, because like I have this thing in my mouth where I get cotton mouth, so like I don't like to talk that much and stuff. And when I do like, I don't know, I think the most I've ever done is maybe 4 sets in a night.
Oh wow,
so,
that's a night.
Yeah, so on the third set you're like, kind of, because you do 20 minutes.
Oh yeah.
So on the third set you get this big cotton mouth, and like sometimes you'd spit.
Yeah, it's
like,
always nice if it flies into someo's beer in the front table down here. You know?
Especially if it's like an attractive lady or something.
Sorry, lady. Yeah.
So like the way I do it is I just pretend I didn't do it.
Yeah, that's all you can do, you know. And everybody in the in the audience is just watching this thing arcing, and it's like in slow motion too. You do that, something just flies out of your mouth, and it goes very slow. You think to yourself, "Oh, it's going right for that beer," you know, or that lady's head, and hit some guy in the eye.
Isn't that the truth?
It's always fun.
It's just
yeah, I remember those stand-up days. I did that for 5 years back from 1982 to about 87. I gave it up after I started getting the goofy gigs because I'd rather stay in town,
right,
than go to the Chuckle Hut in Boise for a Friday night, which is woo. What do we do now? Go to sleep, you know.
but so you don't do stand up at all anymore?
Not too much.
Oh.
No, I'll do gigs from time to time at universities, schools, things like that. And I'm actually going to be. This is a tough gig. In about 2 weeks, I'm going to be on the Disney cruise ship.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They have a Disney Vacation Club members cruise going a 7-day cruise in the Caribbean. So that's going to be fun. And I have to do a few shows just talking about animation, talking like what we are tonight. It's a fun gig. And because it's the 50th anniversary of Pirates of the Caribbean, so they're going to like pirate places. They're going to St. Thomas and St. John's and Tortuga. And like Castaway Key, which is Disney's island. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's much better than the Chuckle Hut in Boise.
Yeah.
And no pirate.
Plus you have a chance of meeting Johnny Depp.
That's right.
There you go.
Right?
I've never met him, but I'd like to.
Yeah, you have a better chance of meeting him on the Caribbean than at a stand-up.
That's right.
club.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
Yeah, because he did those movies.
Out in the Caribbean, Johnny Depp, and here in L.A., nada.
No, he just gets in his jet and flies back to France.
That's right.
I don't know if I've said this, but you like his glasses?
I do like that. Yeah, they're bright red.
Fashion statement.
And
they even have a
got-
little.
on the side
just
they have the multicolored yellow and blue, and
it goes good with the tie, the Western.
I like the Western
Just,
tie.
double.
yeah,
bolo.
that's a bolo tie,
Yes.
isn't it? Yes,
Yes,
that's a very nice,
Thank you.
nice one. It goes along very nicely with the red.
I appreciate
the glasses.
No, Bill, I have a question. When you did radio, it obviously wasn't like this, because like
No,
this is we're kind of like laying back. We don't really know what we're doing. We're just
Well, I
talking.
didn't know what I was doing,
Yeah.
so that's similar. But
but no, like how was it back then?
oh gosh, I did little radio stations in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and I had to go on early in the morning. It's like a lot of them were Western, and so it's like I had to do weird things like the hog reports. And stuff, and I'd turn on the station. I'd have to get stuff in those days on the teletype and pick up and make a news story, and then you'd have to do weird things like, hog bellies are down $3 and cows are up 2, and now the weather, it's going to rain, that kind of stuff. We had fun shows like Pet Patrol, where little old ladies,
My kitty is lost. It's a tabby and its name is Fluffy.
and we'd, that's wonderful. Okay, we'll tell people about it.
If you see my kitty, please call.
And it was just weird. That's how I started doing characters, because I would do, I'd get bored, and they didn't care. They'd say, play Box of the 45, do your commercials, and then we don't care what you do. And so I started developing characters, and I would use, Wolfman Jack was a big DJ at the time. So I'd come in and I'd do,
Oh, baby, we're going to be playing Stacks of Wax, baby. What's going on, Bill?
well, hi, Wolfman. Well, welcome to the show.
Oh, baby, we're going to go do a
we're going to go do the weather right now. And I just developed, you go nuts. You sit in a little room and with a microphone, and you got to come up with something. So I'd come up with all these weird characters, and that's how it started.
So, like, it was more like comedy radio.
It was on my shift. I tried to add a lot of stuff, but mostly it's, here's Furlin Husky once again, and there's Dottie's got a new record here. It's climbing the things. It's you're the reason our kids are ugly. So that's it. We're going to play.
That's great.
Loretta Lynn. And so it was that kind of a show, and people would call in, and it was. I was a very lonely person.
Yeah, I'm very lonely too.
We are indeed.
But radio is a lot of fun when you get to have fun with it.
It's fantastic.
I always loved comedy radio because, like, I think it's the one, like, unlike movies and stuff where you could see the picture, comedy radio you have to use your imagination.
Exactly. That's the same with animation. It all takes place in your mind.
Yeah. So, well, we have a couple of Twitter questions. Do you like questions from Twitter?
I do.
As a matter of fact, is any of them from Donald Trump? I can't believe it. Did you see these hands, by the way? They're gigantic.
That's pretty good.
I like that.
Alec Baldwin might lose his job next year if he.
Oh yeah, you got to do all the presidents. I used to do Bill as well.
Yeah, but no, have you ever had did you ever want to do audition for SNL or something with your impressions?
I was oh gosh, I wasn't that established as a stand-up, and I got the Goofy thing, and I said, I'm going to ride that pony for as long as I can.
Yeah.
You never know. That could be, because who else, I'm very lucky because I've been doing this steady since 1987.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who was on in 1987 that's still on TV? Not too many people. So even though I'm not in front of people, visually, I've been working steadily, and
Fantastic.
I really know how lucky I have been.
Yeah,
That's great.
And the thing is, everyone knows your voice too. So
Yeah, you can turn it on and off. You can. I've always wanted to try and get out of a parking ticket. With Goofy. Gosh, did I mess up, officer? I don't know if that would help or not. Well, I'm Goofy. What do you expect?
Step out of the car.
Yeah. Tase him. Wow.
I bet you that would work though.
It might.
It might.
I'll try it if I
Depends
ever
on the
get
city
stopped.
you're in.
Take this guy to jail.
All right. So a Twitter question from Cracker Jacker,
Cracker Jacker.
18, because 17 wasn't available.
No.
Very, very creative.
You ever see these Twitter handlers? They're like, what?
They're amazing.
Anyways, Cracker Jackal 18 wants to know, Bill, it was rumored that you won the role of Goofy over Steve Martin. Is that true?
There was talk when they first did a Goofy movie in '95. I had heard the rumor that they, at first, and I was kind of heartbroken by this, that they may want to use a celebrity for Goofy. And I think they tried Steve Martin and Jim Varney and some other actors, but then they came, don't change Goofy, and they decided to let me do it. So, yeah, but I don't think I beat him out for the role of it in the. There's not enough money for Steve, He gets the big bucks.
That's interesting. I've never even heard of that.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. It's
This Twitter guy must be digging up dark.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. There is that Steve Martin connection.
Yeah. I think Steve Martin is the best stand-up ever.
Oh, he's amazing. Yeah.
And he only did it for 6 years, which I think is just remarkable.
Yeah, he used to open for the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. He
that's
was
right.
the opening act for them, and he did a lot of the banjo like they do, and he's a fantastic banjo player.
I noticed him.
Yeah, he's great.
All right, Twitter question number 2 from Dorito Ranch XL.
A Dorito. I like Dorito Ranch Doritos.
Oh man, these questions. Bill, you were in the movie RoboCop.
Yes. Yes, I was.
The question is, do you wish that you were in the sequel?
Yeah. Although I think the original, it's rough to do sequels, or remakes. Sequels. Yeah, that was when I was living in Dallas. That was the last thing I did before I got the role of Goofy. And here we were in Dallas, and I had one paragraph to memorize. when RoboCop became a cyborg and he went out on the streets and all of this stuff, I was the on-the-street reporter, and I had to say, this is what I still, it's burned into my memory. I can remember it. It was like, terrorism has never been a factor in this city's politics before, but all that changed today when former city councilman Ron Miller entered City Hall with a gun. He's now upstairs in a second-floor office holding Mayor Clifford Gibson and members of his personal staff hostage. Lieutenant Hedgecock, what's next? And Paul Verhoeven, who was the director, I practiced this for weeks, and we get out on the set, and I had to wait around from 2 in the afternoon till about 1 in the morning to do this. So they get me set and everything. They had these cars screaming in behind me, and it was terrifying because I could see them out of the corner of my eye. I don't know if they're professional drivers or, hey, kid, you want to be in a movie? And they were zooming in, and I started backing up saying terrorism and all, and I hit my mark where I'm supposed to talk to the lieutenant way early. So Paul Verhoeven, the director, said, okay, let's cut this, and this line. And let's go. And I just spent 3 weeks learning this thing. So if you see the movie, it's actually much more, I'm trying to remember the lines like, terrorism has never been a factor in this city's politics before, but the mayor is being held hostage, and he's killed some of the people, and Lieutenant, what's next? It was about like that. And then the look of terror on my face was real, because I was trying to remember my lines. And then I got the thing with Goofy, and would I rather sit around for 12 hours, and hair and makeup and all of that kind of stuff, or put on your jammies and go to work. That's Goofy. Much better deal.
Yeah, but I loved RoboCop. I think
it was a fun movie.
I think that's one of those movies that's like, I think that this is a true fact actually, that it's a kid's first rated R movie that they've seen during.
A lot of people.
Yeah, like when they were growing up in that area.
And I'm the only guy who didn't get killed, I think, in that movie. But I saw that after I moved to California. They released it, and that's the first movie I saw in California, and I saw it at Mann's Chinese Theater, which was like really blew me away to see my picture up on the screen, and that was fun.
All right. Well, last Twitter question, and then we'll do an update, then say our goodbyes about Bill. When you retire from the voice of Goofy, do you get to pass on Goofy to someone else?
No, I'm going to kill anybody that tries to.
No,
there's no reason to retire. Mel Blanc worked up till he passed away, and he could do the voice. So as long as people like me doing it, and as long as they're willing to have me, I'm not ever going to retire. It's too much fun.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's awesome. That'd be like, I don't want you to retire, but I mean, like, if I ever did like a voice or something like that, like if I was George Jetson, and that's not going to happen because no one knows who that is.
But no, why would I? I'm just having a blast, and the voice luckily doesn't change that much. I sound the same as I did back in the '80s when I started this thing, and like I say, as long as Disney wants me, I'll keep doing it.
That's a plus. And Mickey Mantle had to retire, but
Right.
Farmer's not going anywhere.
No, I'm locked myself to the gates at Disney.
Thank you.
Farmer's loaded.
It's fantastic.
Do you think, because the Disney is frozen? You heard that, right? Like he's frozen.
I'd heard that, and I don't think it's true. I think that's one of those myths that.
But if it is true and they unfreeze him, do you think because I saw this movie where like Mel Gibson was frozen and stuff. And he came unfrozen, and he forgot everything. You think
Wow, that's quite.
You think Disney will be like, what is this?
What? Oh, that would be interesting.
That's
Let me go to Disneyland. What is Star Wars?
It's like I'm the owner of this.
Yeah, this was mine. We did pretty good since my day.
All right, Alan, let's get an update from your news story, and then we'll say our goodbyes.
And ladies and gentlemen, this has just come in, and we're hoping for the best. As you know, Bill Farmer is here with us, witnessing all this, thank God. Just in a pre-dawn raid on the taqueria, a crack team of disgraced driving instructors, beguiled construction workers, and a freelance mall Santa burst through the service entrance in an attempt to retrieve comedy wonderkind Greg Roke. 6 members of the HGHG were apprehended, however. Greg tragically fell to his death from a height of 5 feet during the helicopter extraction. The hooks used to strap him in were not ADA compliant. After the botched attempt, the freelance mall Santa hung his stockings with shame in memory of the world historic comedian. I will take the rest of this sponsor break to commemorate the greatest comedian who ever lived with a moment of silence.
So, anyways,
bear with the moment.
Short moment.
A very short moment.
Bill, I was just texted this. My friend's birthday is tomorrow. Do you think you could wish her a happy birthday as Goofy?
Gorsh. Yeah, what's her name?
Avi.
Avi. Gorsh. Well, happy birthday, Avi. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Avi. Happy birthday to you.
Ah, that's very sweet of you.
Your own Goofy greeting here on the air.
Do you, last question. Do you like ever sell like I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll leave a voicemail. Like you ever get people to do that?
I've had people do it. I don't sell that because Disney might say, we need some of that.
But Disney's Frozen. He'd be like, what's a phone?
They get unfrozen. They get unfrozen with stuff like that real quickly.
So, Bill, where can the folks at home follow you?
Yeah,
they can call for my company, which is called Toonhouse, TOONHOUSE, Incorporated. ToonhouseInc.com you can go to. I also have the domain. It goes to the same place, but VOBiz.com, VOBIZ.com, and on it's at Goofy Bill on Twitter. So at Goofy Bill, very easy. So I can figure that out. So.
Do you like Twitter? Do you like tweeting?
It's absolutely incredible. I can't get by without it.
There you go.
Because I find tweeting just to be so difficult.
No, it is. I can't type with my thumbs. I can't type hardly anyway. I'm phone typing in high school. So,
Alan, do you have any shows coming up?
The only shows I have coming up, unfortunately, are in my living room right now. But I'm working on that. And again, an update, I am still going to pay my SAG bill. Bill.
Yeah.
See, I'm so confused.
This guy name drops.
I even name drop when I'm explaining my situation. It's unbelievable, But that will be paid next month if the SAG is listening. They're on my back. They can't miss me. My dues. They can't. They can't lose my $42. No, I'm so glad to have met you, Bill, and it's been a real treat. And again, Pat Buttram. I can't. My mom.
I'm glad you like him.
Thank you.
He's a fun one to do.
Fantastic. Thank you for being here.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, I'm going to be at Bruce's Lounge tomorrow night, which is in Santa Fe, California. Which is weird because I always thought Santa Fe was in New Mexico.
Yeah, I've been to that one. I don't know where Santa Fe, California is.
So I gotta Google it. I probably should have done that before I took the gig because it could be all the way.
Yeah, you might be up near the Oregon border.
Santa Fe. That's a long way.
But no, it's fun and stand up and it was an honor to have you here because like I said, you're a huge inspiration and stuff.
Well, thanks so much. I appreciate that.
And in your professional radio opinion, do you think Alan Lee has the chops?
If he keeps paying the SAG bills when they're due, yes, I think so.
I appreciate that.
They might
just got to get that name dropping thing under control, right?
They'll send out a large guy to collect.
Oh, no.
Well, thanks again to comedian Greg Rogue for sponsoring this.
Yes.
And
thank you.
That was a fun story. I would have said it, but I have cotton mouth. And Bill, thank you so much for singing on the road.
Oh, my pleasure. It just brings back a lot of great memories.
My God,
yeah.
Wow.
Bill Farmer, it was an honor to meet you, pal. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
So much. And Alan, we'll see you guys next week, guys.
Thank you very much.
Oh, man, that was awesome.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee right here on LA Talk Radio.